How to do, y'all? This is John, and today we are talking about Gladiator 2, a new movie out in theaters right now. And in Gladiator 2, it deals with Lucius, who is captured by Roman soldiers 16 years after the events of the first Gladiator, and he is enslaved and forced to become Gladiator himself. And while this is going on, there's this plot to overthrow the new emperors of Rome, and eventually Lucius's story kind of weaves into that. Okay, so getting into it first and foremost, what I liked about the movie, which isn't exactly a whole lot. First and foremost, I think the cinematography in this film is just fantastic. The cinematography in this film, the camera work, that kind of stuff, it is top notch, and it's definitely very much on par with the original Gladiator. And on top of that, Ridley Scott, he knows how to direct medieval style action scenes, combat scenes, and this movie's no exception. The combat in this film is great. Whenever you're in like the Gladiator arena or out in a battlefield in the Middle East or something like that, the combat is brutal, it's aggressive, it's just top-notch Ridley Scott combat. Now when it comes to the characters, literally the only good character in the entire film is Pedro Pascal's General, I think Icarus or Icarus, in the movie. The General, you can tell that the years of warfare are taking a toll on him. And, he wants to see some real permanent change. And when he grows to know Lucius, the actual main character, and, what happened to his wife by soldiers under his command, you can, see the regret on his face, the remorse on his face. He doesn't want these endless wars to continue at all. He's a soldier of Rome. He enlisted to protect Rome, not conquer weaker people. And if you ask me, General Isris, I think his name is again, I could be butchering it real awfully, but in my opinion, he really should have been like the main character of the film. But instead, no, we get Lucius, who is literally just a rehash of Maximus. I am not kidding. Lucius is just Maximus all over again. Everything about him is just Maximus again. Even his backstory, why we're supposed to root for him, that's just Maximus again. Not like with Maximus, where it was not his fault. You can tell he was trying his hardest. With this Lucius guy, it was his fault. And unlike Pedro, and I mean no disrespect to the guy playing Lucius, but I just don't think his actor was that good in this film. Pedro Pascal, I think he was great. Paul Mescal, I believe his name is, not so much. And what about the villain of the movie? Who's the next Commodus? The actual main antagonist just kept changing. First it was this guy, then it was this guy, then it was that guy, then it was back to this guy. I'm not joking. They kept shifting who the main antagonist of the film was. Almost as if, I don't know, they couldn't make up their mind on who the main antagonist was. And none of them live up to Commodus. Like, Commodus in the original Gladiator was kind of like the perfect villain. You are introduced to him, you think he's going to be a good guy, then he's not. Then you underestimate him, and then you're just dealing with this nightmare of a human being the rest of the movie. With this movie, the one antagonist that they could have done something with, different backstory, but his personality was just Commodus again. Even that build-up. First, you think he's gonna be a good guy, then he's not. What about the story? Is the story at least any good? Well, it's just the first movie all over again. I'm not joking, it's pretty much just the first Gladiator all over again. Now, the first Gladiator, that movie's great. It's great. It's one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. But, yeah, for the sequel, they just did the first movie all over again. Very much a bummer. Last thing that I want to talk about, the special effects for Gladiator, while they, haven't aged the greatest, they were undeniably groundbreaking for the time period that was made. Undeniably. This movie has special effects in it, CGI effects, that look like they were made 10 years ago. This movie's special effects are embarrassing considering the film's $200 million budget when you put them against Godzilla Minus One, which had like a $12 million budget. Godzilla Minus One's Oscar-winning effects, because they won an Oscar, and deservedly so, those look better than this movie's special effects. And this movie easily costed like, now I gotta do some math, like 16, 17 times more than Godzilla Minus One. As a matter of fact, Ex Machina, which came out 9 years ago, and very similarly had a significantly lower budget than this, also made deservedly Oscar-winning effects. Ex Machina's CGI looks incredible. This movie, you literally notice the CGI monkeys, the CGI rhinos, the CGI everything in this film. Quite the bummer, because this is coming from Ridley Scott, who, even up until fairly recently, had been very reliable when it comes to special effects. Anyway, so Gladiator 2, this movie did not need to be made, and doesn't exactly just justify itself. The narrative is just the first movie all over again. The main character is not interesting. They really should have just had the general be the main character, not Lucius. The special effects are all bad, and, the whole villain thing is just... that's the best way I can describe it. There's only a handful of somewhat redeeming aspects to it. However, it's just not enough for me to recommend this film at all. I'm going to give Gladiator 2 a 3. Well, that's all the time I have for today. Please do look forward to more videos real soon. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Please also subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, please remember, the Bretsky will return.